Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Leverage Advantage Show, where we share with you the best ways to generate the most income with the least amount of effort. It's fantastic to have you here with us. Today, it's a really special episode, and I'm really honored and really grateful to have a good friend of mine, Pamela Donnelly, today. And Pamela believes that every student, regardless of their socioeconomic status, deserves a level playing field in the quest for a competitive college education. Now, not satisfied to simply profit from the wealthiest 5% of students who already possess unfair advantages, she created the GATE college system as a digital solution to fill the broader societal need, offering a virtual college counseling tool to anyone, anywhere. Now, Pamela is a #1 best-selling author, speaker, and national media expert on college admissions, and she's been endorsed by Time Magazine, Larry King, and other notables in education, media, and entertainment. Welcome, Pamela.
Hi.
Hey. Well, I've known you for a while now, but I think that most of the people who are going to be on the show or watching the show, they don't really, I'm quite sure they may not know a lot about you, especially since a lot of the audience might be in Asia. Can you share a little bit about yourself, what your story is? And I think that your mission is something that it's very dear to me because I went to university, but I was rejected many times. And I'll share that story a little bit later on. Yeah.
Wow. Fazil, I think that you are like so many other people who are talented, capable, and yet are not born into circumstances where you have the advantages that others may have. And, here in the US, we talk about the American dream. You asked about my backstory. I'll tell you just very briefly. I grew up in a family with parents who didn't go to college and have degrees. I was a straight A student, but nobody helped me figure this stuff out. And it was a little bit later in life. Actually, I was 30 years old by the time I applied to college. I figured out how to get myself into the Ivy League. I graduated in 2.5 years, summa cum laude, from Columbia University in the city of New York. And I did my entire emphasis on secondary education because I really believed that there was something that I could bring to help send the ladder back down, to help other students like me that grew up without those types of advantages. There was no silver spoon. My parents were wonderful, but they did not understand this process. So my books are for helping the parents, and GATE College System is a digital tool to help the students. We want everybody to have a fair shot.
Why did you get into this business?
Okay. I really felt that I had a calling. How sometimes you just kind of get this sense that you're supposed to be doing something. I was in my 20s. I was actually a successful television star here in the US on daytime television. And I was under contract to ABC TV. And what I found is that all that glittered was not gold. I was not happy. I had fan mail and I had an income and I was living a very glamorous life, but I wasn't fulfilled and I wasn't happy. And I had sort of a crisis, and I actually ended up just kind of on my knees one day saying, what do you want? Like, what am I supposed to be doing with my life? It became really clear to me that education was going to be a path for me, that I had a calling as a teacher. I didn't know I would invent GATE. I didn't know I would open my first business, Valley Prep Tutoring Services here in Los Angeles. And I didn't know that I would end up innovating. I just, I spent my first years, as a college admissions counselor and teacher in public, private, and parochial schools, helping students, like really just old school, teacher in a classroom. But I've taken all of that expertise with 26 members of my staff, and we've created a way to scale that expertise in a way that we can address a serious market gap right now.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm not sure if I told you my story before. I'm pretty sure I did when we were on that boat, but I'll tell it to you anyway. So when I was in Singapore, we've got the British system, right? So we do the O levels and we do the A levels, and I completely flunked my A levels, like really bad. And I mean, to me, I think it's a really flawed system. But basically that meant I couldn't go to university. So I had to do it again and again and again. And I did it like 3 times. And all 3 times I didn't do very well. And then a university in Singapore decided that they would take in SAT results as a measure of your aptitude. So I did my SATs. I thought I did pretty well. I got like 1470 over 1600, and they still didn't let me in. So you know,
Wow.
yeah, and it was at that point that that for me, and I think you also know like my stance on traditional education is also slightly different from yours. I think it's important, but I think it was at that point that for me, I thought that I realized, or I made that decision that I didn't need institutions to place a value on me and tell me how far it's going to go.
Right.
But that being said, I think that with your expertise, I'm quite sure I'd easily get into some of the American colleges, and that would have been very useful for me. So tell me a little bit more about what you're doing now and who do you help?
Sure. Well, I mean, you can take a look at gateforstudents.com. And if you look there, what you'll see is this is a digital tool, and it is there to help 9th through 12th graders as they go through a step-by-step process toward the right fit college for them. So just very quickly, GATE is actually an acronym, and it stands for grades, applications, testing, and essays. So this is a very holistic and comprehensive solution to what right now is a very fractured market. So typically here in the US, if a student, let's say you're in 9th grade and you know that you want to go to college, it starts off with anxiety. Oh, I've got to figure out the PSAT. Then I've got to figure out how to keep my grades strong. And then I've got to figure out where I'm going to apply and what do I want to major in. And then I've got to take SATs and ACTs, and that's really scary. Then I've got to write the right essays. And by the time students are running in 5 directions and their parents are stressing out, really what they're looking for is someone they can trust, someone that can come and say, you know what, I got you. Like, I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to take you through this process. You don't have to be scared. And I'm a mom of 3, and I've done this with thousands of kids throughout my entire career. So I can confidently show you the moves step by step. And as that happens, students using our platform are getting into an average of 9 colleges to every 11 applications that get submitted. So you're talking about some really phenomenal results that we can demonstrate.
Awesome. And was there any real event in your past that was your turning point that made you decide that this is something that you wanted to strive towards?
Yeah, you know what? I had in my first 4 months of opening Valley Prep tutoring services, where typically very expensive, tutoring packages are sold. I mean, we make no apology with Valley Prep. I mean, it's an elite option. We work with celebrity families in Hollywood. We work with, doctors and lawyers' kids. There's typically spending between $15,000 and $25,000 US to go through our one-on-one tutoring version of GATE. And as they did that, they were getting great things happening for them. But I was getting phone calls at the office. Hi, my daughter goes to the public school down the street. Oh, she's really smart and wonderful, but we don't know about this test prep or any of the essays. Can you help us? And my heart would just go, oh God, And so my turning point was I realized that there weren't enough hours in the day for all the people that needed my help. And I was darn well going to find a way to take what I had and put it online so that anyone could get it. And that is where the idea for GATE College System actually began.
Awesome. Let's switch gears a little bit to business. Now, this is the Leverage Advantage show, and we're really all about how can you create leverage in your business. And what's one big tip or advice for listeners when it comes to creating leverage in your business?
I think one of the most important things that I'm learning is the benefit of strategic partnerships. Not in our case, it's not overlooking the fact that sometimes those are 501c3 partners that may be end users for the for-profit tool that we've created. So instead of thinking of it as, we're the nice guys who want to equalize access, we are, but we are we are a for-profit business. Gate College System is values-driven. We're mission-aligned, but we are a for-profit company. But we can sell to 501c3s. We are looking now, I just actually had a 2-hour meeting today with another strategic partner who is, they have a finance platform for helping student loans. And so there are a lot of, I would say to anyone, whatever your field is, what you want to be doing is find somebody who has a piece of a solution for the same end user that you are serving, and look for ways to create an end-to-end solution so that your partnership puts wind in the sails of 2 or more companies.
Nice. And for those of you who are not in the US, a 501c3 is pretty much a non-profit organization. Let's go back a couple of years. Let's go back 10 years. And if you could go back 10 years in time and tell your old self one thing, what would it be? What would it be?
Wow. I would have started Valley Prep sooner. 10 years ago, I would have said to myself, you are running out of energy, time, and resources to just stay in a classroom helping 30 kids at a time. You need to take a risk now. Take that business loan now, which is what I did, a couple of years after that. So Valley Prep is now in our 7th year of business. So, it's been an incredible journey there. And I wish, and we're, slaying it. I'm really happy. This is my home office. I'm living in Malibu, California. So something is going right. And, thank God. Right. And so, yeah, I would have started sooner. I don't beat myself up over that, but I would have started sooner. And I think I would have also leaned in a little more heavily. I would have started raising money unapologetically, because the truth is I have successfully raised, $750,000 for this company out of angel funds so far. There's plenty of money out there if people want to solve this problem and make some ROI on it. And I was kind of nervous. I think sometimes as a female founder, we're not raised as women to talk about money, to require money, to ask for the money. Like, hi, I'm going to make you a pile of money. You need to invest in me. Let me show you, and then when you can demonstrate that and you can show your pro forma cash flows, you can demonstrate that you know exactly what you're doing. People come in, and they have.
Of course. And here's the thing I like about your story. With Valley Prep, you do a lot of one-on-one, and like you said, people pay anywhere between $15,000 or in excess of $20,000 to keep themselves for university. But with the resource-intensive delivery that you do at Valley Prep, clearly you can't do that for the bottom of the pyramid, or for even mainstream children. And what you've done is really create leverage by creating the gate system, where that same delivery is delivered in a leveraged way, allowing you to reach a whole lot more people at a cost that is reasonable for all of them. And to be honest, I think this is a system that is required or is very much needed, not just where you are in the States, but hopefully with the seed fund, the angel funds, and eventually the venture funds that come in to be able to expand all over the world. And that's something that I'm really looking forward to as well. Now, what does ultimate leverage look like to you? Ultimate leverage in business, how does that look like to you?
Ultimate leverage for me would be the ability to walk into any room with any high net worth individual and have them recognize the value of what I've created, and to be able to immediately begin speaking in terms of deal flow instead of having to prove oneself. I think when you've already earned the right, you have ultimate leverage. And you earn the right by daily waking up and hitting it hard and demonstrating your outcomes. If you say you can do something, make sure you can do it, and do it the right way, do it with integrity. And then that leverage, I think, comes from, and this is beginning to happen, by the way. I mean, we've been submitting RFI and RFP, like requests for information, and then eventually those proposals with some of the biggest philanthropic names in the world in the last 6 weeks. So, we're getting there, but we're still in many ways a little scrappy startup, so there are opportunities right now, frankly, for those who may want to participate in all kinds of ways. I mean, I can certainly still have conversations if somebody is an angel. You're correct that if somebody wants to enroll in GATE, it's less than $1 a day, Fazil. It's literally less than $1 a day to get your kid into the best possible college. That's the price point, $29 a month. That's crazy. So, that's a heck of a lot better than $15,000. And this is, video content and interactive. And I think that students are really enjoying it. We've had over 1,000 kids go through already. Excellent. I'm going to ask you, this is like the part of the show I ask you like a couple of quick fire questions. All right. So okay, I'm ready. All right. So the first. I'm sitting down. The first question is, what's the best advice you've ever received? Don't worry about what people think, because it's none of your business what other people think of you. Excellent. And can you share one of your personal habits that you strongly believe contributes to your success? Yoga. I practice yoga every morning, and I think that meditative state opens me up to be able to download really inspired ideas. Okay. Finally, what book would you recommend as a must read? I would recommend Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. I love this book. It's like persuasion, but it's P-R-E-suasion. So for those of you who know NLP and linguistics and the ways that we can get to the close more effectively, persuasion is where you pre-frame what it is that you're looking to accomplish in a way that the other person doesn't even know it, but you get what you want at the end of the conversation. I love it. I love it. We use a lot of Robert Cialdini's techniques in our business, and I think a lot of people don't understand that if you have the right system and techniques with regards to language patterns, you can pretty much make most people do what you want them to do. It's quite hypnotic. Yeah, and that sounds so like terrible, right? It sounds like Machiavellian, like we're like, haha, I'm going to manipulate. No, it's like I really believe that I'm outside my duty of care to the people I'm here to serve if I don't effectively close them on discovering the tool that I've created for them. So I feel like it's ethical, but yeah, I've had to get non-apologetic about being effective as a closer. Yeah, I mean, like, look, I think it's the same for all of us. Like, if you truly believe that your product or your service is going to enrich their lives, it is irresponsible of you not to do your very best to get them to enroll, right? And you've got to get over yourself. You just have to. It's what I was saying about not caring what other people think. And again, I go back to the fact that as a woman in business, there really can be, and I don't know if it's the same in Singapore, but we're not raised here to get out there and it's like you're in a pink dress and you're told to sit down, be nice, be quiet. So I don't know where this kind of spirit within me comes from, but I just have that grit. And I think it's because I see how unfair the world is in terms of access to college. And I know that I can bring a solution to change it. So you're right. It's like, let's do the thing that you can do well. Cool. If you had 30 seconds left to live, what piece of advice would you give? If I had 30 seconds left to live? Yeah, 29 now. Oh gosh. What piece of advice? Center yourself on what truly matters and know that the only thing that truly matters is love, and find a way to resonate that love out into the world through your expertise and your talent. Do not let anybody take away your love, because that is all that you will take from this world when you leave it. Excellent. Thank you so much, Pamela. If people are interested in finding more about you, how can you be reached? Where should they go? Sure. Please visit Gate for Students. That's GATEFOR Students, STUDENTS.com. And there you will discover you can opt in. You get a lot of free trainings and things like that. You can reach out to me here in the US. You can reach me through support at gatecollegesystem.com. Awesome. A lot of exciting stuff happening for you. Thank you so much for a lot of very exciting stuff. Yeah, I look forward to, I know it's long overdue. I look forward to seeing you in Malibu and hanging out in your home office.
Yeah.
Come and hang out, and I know my husband would love to see you as well. We really did benefit, Fazil, from our time with you. You know, we were on an investors cruise together a number of years ago, and I remember we went to lunch after one of the sessions, and you said some things to me that I have actually incorporated into my business, and I still think about to this day. And I really do appreciate and thank you for, you know, your interest in what I'm doing. It's a beautiful friendship.
Thank you. You're very welcome. In fact, I noticed in your bio, it started with Pamela Donnelly believes. I love that. When I looked at it, I was like, very good.
I'm a little consistent. I try not to bang the drum too hard, but the truth is I'm a faith-based individual, and everything I do because the world needs a big dose of something to believe in. You know, and I know that college, I agree with you, you know, honestly, Fazil, college isn't the only path. You know, there are a lot of kids in the world who that's not what they should be doing, but I really do believe that it can be salvation from exploitation for many students. And so higher education is one way to keep them safe, keep them away from being exploited in a lot of ways. So that's my commitment.
No, I absolutely agree with you. I think a couple of years ago, maybe, you know, I was thinking to myself, like, you know, entrepreneurship's so awesome. You know, like you have so much control, so much power over your destiny. Why wouldn't more people be doing that? But then I think about a year or two ago, I also realized that different people have different paths. Entrepreneurship's not for everybody. You know, there are people who are climbing the corporate ladder and they're happy,
yeah,
right? And so who am I to say, you know, you should do something different? And I think you bring a really important perspective as well, that, you know, higher education is extremely important, you know, especially for social mobility. There, you know, in my family, we've got 4 of us, right? So my mom and dad didn't get that opportunity to go to university. I went to university, I didn't finish. So the first graduate in my family is actually my sister, right? Right. And this is actually, in fact, I think on my mother's side, she's the first graduate ever in the entire family, in the history of my mom's family, right? So, and I think that is, and that then contributes to breaking that cycle. You know, I've seen it for myself, you know, that, you know, if you're not well educated, the opportunities are paltry, to be honest, compared to somebody who's got a degree. And in order to succeed without a degree, you have the odds stacked against you. You really have to be able to see a completely different path. And there's a lot of faith and belief involved, because, you know, the path for somebody who's gotten a degree is a lot clearer. It's a lot easier to see than for somebody who doesn't. You know, like really, if you don't have a degree, you want to be successful, either you need to find a mentor who's done it before, or you're in uncharted waters and you gotta learn fast, even faster than if you were in university.
You have to learn fast, and you have to be able to fund your dream. I mean, even when I opened Valley Prep, I took out an $80,000 business loan. And if I hadn't had something saved as collateral versus that, I still couldn't have done that. So it all comes down to money. And, you know, the thing I love about GATE is that, you know, we've made this thing so that students can average between $35,000 and $40,000 in merit aid, which is money they don't have to pay back on college tuition. So that's directly connected to their testing scores and their GPAs and things like that. So, you know, yeah, when it comes down to it, you know, whether somebody's going to school there in, you know, in Singapore, whether they're in KL, whether they're in the US, you know, the access point to the ideal future, and especially if you're talking about money. I mean, college graduates make over $1 million over the course of a lifetime, more than just regular high school graduates. So, and that's just according to census data that we could look at, right? So, you know, the financial equation here says, yes, it makes sense if you can do it, but we want to make sure that everybody knows that, yeah, they actually can do it. You don't have to have rich parents to be able to go to college. You just need to be able to go through GATE, and then you can, you know, choose your GATE of which school you want to walk into.
Awesome.
Hey there, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, check out the relevant video here, and don't forget to subscribe to us for more marketing tips, techniques, strategies that are working for us, or just more behind the scenes fun. See ya.